Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I am gonna film the Degrassi video for you. What I'm apologizing for is there's so much rain. So if you can hear the rain, I'm sorry. I literally film my Saturday videos Friday. I filmed most of them Monday, but I didn't finish watching the episodes in time to do that. So there may have to be a trigger warning and not for the cringy acting in Degrassi Junior High. It's for, they might talk about things. I'm not sure. They're kind of, these things are kind of like, what do you say? Not sugar-coated, but they're kind of like played down, I guess. So anyway, so Degrassi Junior High Season 1, let's start with episode 1. Kiss Me Steph. Stephanie K lets the male population of Degrassi Junior High kiss her as part of her campaign for school president. Much to the chagrin of her friend Vula, meanwhile, her brother Arthur and Yik, both new grade 7 students, evade the bullying of Joey Jeremiah. So, presidential election, changing appearance to be more mature and taking advantage of friends' help. So, presidential election, she won the election because everybody voted for her because she either kissed them or they found her hot, which is not the way to win the election at all. I don't agree that she should have won the election, but whatever. Goes back to her old image. I do like how at the end of the episode she went back to her old image. I wish she had done that permanently, but I mean, we all know how we were in middle school, right? And Vula breaks off the friendship and gives Stephanie back the bracelet. I do really like how Vula gave her back the bracelet and was like, you took advantage of my help. You thanked Joey instead of me. And I really like how Vula was standing up for herself in that moment. Episode 2, The Big Dance. Vula's conservative father refuses to let her go to the upcoming school dance. Disgruntled, Vula decides to go to the dance anyway without telling her father. Stephanie, who agreed to make a speech for a foster child charity that was sponsoring the school dance, becomes heavily intoxicated after drinking booze at Lucy Fernandez's house, leaving Vula to do the speech herself just when her father arrives. So strict parents, crush on someone who likes someone else, and drinking. So Vula lies to go to the dance and then talks to her dad about it. I do like how she stood up to her dad and she's like, I wanted to go. This is something that I've been working on for a while. I needed to go to the dance. I needed to make this speech. I needed to do that. So Stephanie asks Wheels instead of Joey, which obviously that's just her personal preference who she wanted to go with. Lucy looks after Stephanie, and I don't think it was fair for Lucy to have to look after Stephanie. I feel like Stephanie should have made a better decision that night and maybe not drink alcohol. And Stephanie gets drunk and ruins her chance with Wheels. Honestly, like, yeah, if you're gonna get drunk before your date, you're gonna ruin your chance with your crush. Like, that's just how life works. Episode 3, The Experiment. Yik Yu is convinced that Mr. Radich is biased against him. Aided by Arthur, Yik decides to test Radich by passing off an old paper of Stephanie's as his own. But the plan fails and the two get detention. Meanwhile, Joey takes advantage of Melanie and Kathleen's interest in taking drugs by passing off vitamin pills as barbiturates. Basketball tryouts, helping a friend with things, trying drugs. So Arthur gets better at basketball with Yik's help, and Yik makes the team, not Arthur. And I'm glad that Yik offered to help Arthur in a sport he really wanted to do, but sometimes people just don't make the team. Arthur gives Yik Stephanie's paper once, which I don't think that was a good idea, and Mr. Radich calls him out in class. I don't think it was good of Mr. Radich to call him out in class either. I think he should have talked to him privately about it, but we all know Mr. Radich. Joey gave Kathleen and Melanie vitamins, which I think was really good. Because, you know, you're not going to give them actual pills. So Yik writes a good paper and Radich apologizes and reads it, which I think is really good of Radich to give him another chance and actually read his paper. Arthur owns up to it and they have to write a paper during detention, which is the paper that, you know, and I think Arthur got his comeuppance for having to write a paper with Yick in detention. Episode 4. So this is where the trigger warning will come in. Episode 4, The Cover-Up. Joey is offered a new jacket by Rick Monroe, the tough kid of the school, after Joey's parents accidentally cut his original. When Joey comes over to Rick's apartment, he finds out that Rick's father is abusive and tries to covertly seek intervention, which is accidentally mistaken as being for himself. Meanwhile, Caitlin Ryan and Susie Rivera try to make Rick smile. So, child abuse, fight with parents, trying to get someone to smile. So, secretary calls children's aid to Joey's house, but the man can see it's Rick. So when the man comes over to Joey's house, he's asking Joey about his side because his parents are saying, oh no, we never abuse him, but he's asking Joey about his side, and then he sees Rick run out of the house. So he obviously knows, oh, the call is not for Joey, it's for Rick. And I'm glad that the children's aid man decided to talk to Rick. Rick might stay with his brother, which I think is a better option. And if you all, okay, so I know a lot of you are Next Generation fans that started watching my channel because of the Next Generation episodes, which that's why I started with that, to bring you all in. If you watch Degrassi Junior High, which I mean you should, it does talk about issues that the Next Generation didn't talk about. So it's really good to watch. But I think Rick, I heard by the Degrassi creators, they did with Sean and Emma what they didn't do with Caitlin and Rick. So Joey stands up for his parents to children's aid, and I'm glad that Joey stood up with his parents even though they were in a fight and said, look, my parents have never hit me, my parents don't hit me, I had a skateboard accident, I fell off a skateboard. And then Caitlin and Susie finally see Rick smile and they high five, and I think it's really cute that they wanted to make him smile. Rick is like Sean. Sean and Emma were based off of Caitlin and Rick, which I said. Episode 5, The Great Race. Melanie, part of the girls' swim team, deals with bullying due to her breast size. As sports representative, Jason Cox expresses sexist attitudes towards the swim team, leading Lorraine, LD, Delacourt, to challenge his soccer team to a swim race. Meanwhile, Arthur and Yick notice that everybody is growing taller than them. Body changes, women's sports get the same recognition. So Melanie gets teased for having a bra, you know, but girls get a bra, and she talks to Snake and gets confidence, and I really like how Snake was giving her confidence. And LD shoves Joey in the pool when he makes a joke, saying, Melanie, you are so flat, the walls are jealous. Which is so stupid. Honestly, I would have shoved him in the pool too. The outcome of the competition. The girls win with Melanie getting there a second before Jason, which I think it was really good to have them win so they get the recommendation they deserve. Episode 6, Rumor Has It. Caitlin has recurring romantic dreams about Miss Avery, who is coincidentally the subject of rumors that she's a lesbian. Caitlin begins to question her own sexuality as a result. Meanwhile, Rick wins $100 and gives everybody free licorice, which arouses the suspicion of Arthur and Yick, who think Rick stole Yick's money. Rumor about a teacher, search for a thief, accuses a student because of reputation. So Caitlin talks to Miss Avery and clears things up, and I really like a quote Miss Avery said where she's like, if I was gay, would it change anything? And Caitlin shook her head no, and I really like how they had that in there. There's no thief. Nobody stole Yick's money. And Yick finds it in his locker, the $20. So, reputations can be deceiving. Episode 7, The Best Laid Plans. Arthur and Stephanie's mother has plans for Friday night, which prompt them to make plans of their own while the house is vacant. Arthur plans to show Yick a pornographic movie, while Stephanie plans to invite Wheels over and have sexual intercourse. Wheels seeks his reluctant father's advice, and Joey helps him pick out condoms, but embarrasses him by loudly announcing the brands of condoms in the drugstore. When Wheels arrives at Stephanie's house with flowers, he finds himself waiting on the front porch with Stephanie's mother's date, and realizes that it was her mother that sold him the condoms. When her mother catches them out, Arthur's friends arrive wanting to see the porn film. Date, pornography video to watch, and sex. So, canceled date because of mom, because she saw that Wheels was the one buying the condoms and she knew he was going out with Stephanie, so she was like, we need to have a talk. The pornographic video to watch, it wasn't specified what happened. He never said if he got in trouble or not when his friends came saying, we want to watch space sex robots, or whatever it was called. And Stephanie's mom lectured her and Wheels about how they're not ready to have sex, it's not the time, yada, 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 whatever. Episode 8, Nothing to Fear. LD's father is hospitalized with angina. While troubled by her father's health episode, she refuses to visit him in the hospital, having a distrust in them after her mother previously died in one, despite being assured she would be okay. In an act of goodwill, Vula and Spike send flowers to her father, who tells them LD never visited him. When she ultimately decides to visit, she finds her father dressed and about to leave. Meanwhile, the grade 7s lose the school snake. So, parents pushing gender norms, parent in hospital, lost snake, and messing with Melanie because of her fear. So, he lets go of wanting LD to be ladylike. He says at the end of he was trying to get her to be ladylike, like stop wearing a cap, whatever, be more like a lady. But then he said at the end of the episode, you're missing something, and he meant the baseball cap. PTSD with hospitals because of mom. So she sees her dad all better and leaving the hospital, discharged from the hospital. And she's like, oh my gosh, I thought you were dead. Because when she walked into the room, it was like bare, like no sheets on the bed, no person in there. So Melanie found the snake in a bag. And Melanie, she finds the snake and it's okay. So, okay. 9, what a night. Stephanie meets TV heartthrob Damon King and lies about her age to go on a date with him. When the situation turns into potential date rape in Damon's car, Stephanie backs out and reveals her real age. Meanwhile, in a quest for new clothes, Lucy and Vula go to the department store, but Lucy shoplifts, causing the two of them to be taken to the police station. So, shoplifting, parents never home, creepy celebrity, and the girls watching the show was funny. So Lucy got charged this time and has to go to court. So Lucy had done it before and she got charged. I think it was good for Lucy to learn her lesson, but she couldn't hang out with Vula anymore, which is sad. Parents said Lucy was a spoiled brat after all they did for her, which, I mean, her parents were never home, so what did they do for her? Like, it just reminded me of Jimmy's storyline. The celebrity tried to kiss Stephanie, and Stephanie yelled and scared him off by saying she was not 16 but 14, and he ran away. Obviously, creepy celebrity. That's one of the ones, I think it was good that she said her real age and got herself out of a bad situation, but I think that's one of the reasons why I think people should watch Degrassi Junior High, is they definitely should have done that in the next generation. I know they did it with online pedophiles pretending to be, the same age as kids, but I really think they should have done that with, next generation too. So episode 10, Smokescreen. Rick joins the Environmental Action Committee with Caitlin, which annoys Kathleen. Rick helps advertise a petition and hand it to a factory whose boss is apathetic. Later, Kathleen catches Rick smoking outside the convenience store and he's kicked out of the committee. He later tells Caitlin he joined the committee because he liked her. Meanwhile, Yick tries to avoid discussing his refugee background for a family history project, and instead brings a vase, which Arthur accidentally breaks. Arthur attempts to pretend it is being appraised, but soon reveals what happened to Yick, who decides to do his refugee background instead. Crush on a student, lying about family for project. So Caitlin kisses Rick on the cheek to thank him for calling the paper about the factory solution, which I think was really cute and a good way to thank him because he likes her. And everyone liked Yick's true story. And I think it was good for Yick to tell his true story because you shouldn't lie about your family. 11, it's late. Spike and Shane McKay have unprotected sex in a bedroom at Lucy's house during a party. She begins to show up late for school and in a bad mood, lashing out at everyone, including Shane. After confiding to Erica and Heather, they help her buy a pregnancy test, which she hides from her mother until relenting. A test at a clinic later reveals she was really pregnant. Meanwhile, Yick has a crush on Melanie, and Arthur tries to help him ask her out, which constantly fails. So sex, pregnant, asking someone out. So Spike has sex with Shane at a party. Obviously not a good idea when you're 14. Spike is pregnant. Shane and Spike talk but do not agree on abortion, which obviously it's woman's choice. I'm pro-choice over here. And Melanie says yes, and she has a great time. And I'm glad that Melanie at least gave him a chance. Maybe she doesn't like him that way, but she at least gave him a chance and, decided to see what it would be like. 12, Parents' Night. Joey, Archie, Snake, Simpson, and Wheels form a band. Joey unsuccessfully tries to lie his way out of Parents' Night after given advice by Snake. Wheels receives an unexpected visit from his biological father. Meanwhile, Spike mulls over her choices with the baby and argues with Shane. When she asks Wheels, who is having conflicted feelings about being adopted, for advice, and inadvertently helps both of them. pregnancy decisions, talent show is just an update, and meeting birth dad. So Shane breaks up with Spike, but the baby stuff is ongoing. I don't think he should have broke up with her, but whatever. Next season is when we'll dive into why breaking up with her wasn't great, because he still wants to be involved. Wheels talks to his dad and makes up with him, and I really like how he talked to him and made up with him and got on a kind of like, you know, like basis with him. He's not a great guy, but we'll find that out later. Episode 13, Revolution. Stephanie attempts to ask Wheels on another date, but he turns it down, citing his exams. Stephanie becomes resentful and tries to get revenge on him by propositioning Joey with a place as sports representative, which was traditionally a grade 7 position on the school paper. Having had enough of Stephanie, the grade 7 staged a protest calling for her impeachment. When Wheels proves to Joey about Stephanie's ulterior motive, he resigns, causing Stephanie to retreat into the bathroom and break down. After school, she offers to walk Arthur home, promising she will change. So, asking someone out and trying to be sports rep. So, she gets revenge on Wheels, but Joey tells her off by quitting, which I think was really good for Joey to do, to tell her off and be like, you're not going to use me. Runs a protest when Joey gets the spot, so Joey quits sports rep, so he's like, it's a grade 7 position, so he's giving the grade 7s the power. And flashback, and Stephanie vows to try to be better. I like how she vows to try to be better, and I like how she had the flashback of all the things she had done wrong to kind of remind her. So obviously, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys like Degrassi Junior High. My plan for this series, because you know we're running out of Degrassi episodes, is to do Degrassi Junior High and High episodes. And then we will still be doing the My Opinion on Degrassi series, because I'm going to go through the same order I did. Next Generation, Next Class, and Junior High and High. And I'm going to do... I can do all Next Class couples because there were 4 seasons. So I can do all of those because not many people were dating in Next Class. And Junior High and High, I can do all of those relationships in one video, but the Next Generation, I'm going to split it in half. Like do a couple of seasons couples and then the other couple of seasons couples because there are 14 seasons. So anyway, thank you guys. Let me know if you agree down in the comments or what you liked about the show, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!